Good afternoon. And welcome to the LGBTQ Pride Month celebration hosted by the Kings County District Attorney's Office. I am Jaclyn Quiles, and I'm an Assistant District Attorney with the Domestic Violence Bureau, and it's an honor to serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies for today's event. Since the first Pride March after the Stonewall riots in 1969, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people and allies celebrate Pride every June across the globe. We celebrate Pride to honor those who have fought for the civil rights of our community, and we unite together to promote the dignity, equal rights, and visibility of LGBTQ people. In Brooklyn, we promote a future where everyone can live as their true selves, peacefully, and to be free from violence and bias, and that everyone is treated with equal opportunities under the law. It is important to our Acting District Attorney, Eric Gonzalez, to honor these esteemed organizations who devote their time to providing safe space and support for community members, to saving the lives of homeless youth, and to advancing the legal rights of the community across the country.
This office must always stand in the right place, for the right moment, and we must always stand to uplift people and to be on the right side of helping people. You know, we think about district attorneys' offices as prosecuting crime, and we do that, and we do a great job of doing that here in Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn is going through a renaissance in many ways. As it gets safer and safer. You know, 2016 has been one of the safest years in recorded history in Brooklyn. We are going to shock the rest of the city at the end of 2017 as we continue to even be safer than we were last year. But I recognize that there's still pockets of challenge, and clearly in the hate crime arena there's been an uptick, and it's disturbing. So this event today is in part to say publicly and say it loudly that we stand by our LGBTQ community, that this office will always be there to help the community, but we are part of the community. We're not separate from the community. You are the community, and we need to be present in your lives and always make sure that you know that this office is here to keep the community safe. For me, it's also about reaching out to my assistant district attorneys. Years and years ago, there were people who were afraid to come out in this DA's office because they thought it would prevent them from moving forward in their careers or not progressing in ways that were fair and just. And, you know, I've had some friends who were gay who really did not want their bosses to know they were gay because they thought they would get different types of cases and not the same amount of work. And so it's important for me as your DA and as the leader of this organization to make sure that no one in my office feels that they will be discriminated against because of any lifestyle, or who they are, where they come from, how they look, what they believe. This office needs to talk about it, and we don't do much of talking about stuff like this in our office. So I wanted to use today to make sure that everyone knows that in this office, you'll be promoted and you'll be treated with respect and dignity based on how hard you work and how well you represent the people of Brooklyn.
I have the honor of introducing our first honoree today for our Community Social Impact Awards. Our first honoree this afternoon is the Brooklyn Community Pride Center. The Brooklyn Community Pride Center provides support and services to the borough's LGBTQ community through original programming and partnership with like-minded organizations. BCPC enables the Brooklyn community to actively participate in positive, life-affirming activities in a safe space regardless of age. The organization offers physical and mental health services, social support, recreational and cultural programming, all while serving as an endless source of information for LGBTQ individuals and families. Please give a round of applause as we welcome Executive Director of the Brooklyn Community Pride Center, Floyd Rumer.
Wow, thank you so much for that performance. Dance and movement often makes me feel alive, and this performance was no exception, especially on a carpet. It gives new meaning to cutting a rug, gentlemen. Well done. I was very disappointed last night after the rainstorm because I didn't see a rainbow. I didn't see it. But today's beauty makes up for it. As I look out, I see lots of color. Thank you so much for coming today and for this honor. No such occasion where we are to accept such an honor would be complete without a special remembrance for Kenneth Thompson, who headed last year's Heritage Pride March for the Brooklyn Community Pride Center and who we remember today with great fondness. It is my honor to represent the LGBTQ plus people of Brooklyn, and it is on their behalf that I accept today's recognition. As our community continues to be attacked by bigots and bully pulpits and cowards who brutalize the vulnerable, I am made hopeful by friends and allies like Acting District Attorney Gonzalez, who support our community and advocate on our behalf.
Our next honoree this afternoon is the Forney Center. The Forney Center is the largest agency dedicated to serving and protecting LGBTQ homeless youth in the country, and was the first organization to create housing specifically for transgender homeless youth in Brooklyn. The center was named after Forney, also known as Precious, a homeless transgender teen who was abused and neglected in the foster care system. At 15, was street homeless and advocated for the safety of LGBTQ homeless youth until was murdered. The center provides a 24-hour drop-in center, medical and mental health services, through an on-site clinic, and runs a housing program with locations throughout NYC. The transgender housing program, currently run by a former homeless transgender woman of color, began in July 2016 and houses 18 transgender youth for up to 18 months. The center is also currently advocating to raise the age of what qualifies as youth from 21 to 24 years old. Please help me welcome to the podium Joanna Rivera, Director of Transgender Housing, to accept the award on behalf of the Forney Center.
Hi, everyone. This is honestly like such an honor for myself and the Transgender Housing Program at the Forney Center. Since we are a very new program, this is our very first program award. So this will hold a special place in my heart for the rest of my life. So I joined the Forney Center February of 2016 as a youth counselor. And to be honest, like, I was the very annoying staff, the one that always had something to say. During staff meetings, I was the first one to be like, as a person that has had the same struggles as our clients, this is what I feel should be done. And it was like every single week. And then when the program expanded and became an independent program, there was actually a position available for a supervisor. And then since I always had something to say, the entire agency was pushing me to take that position. And I was like, oh, wow, talk about no pressure. And, 8 months later, I actually became the director of the program. And I went from a counselor to director in under a year. To be honest with all of you, I had a lot of things to say because the program was struggling, as we can expect for a brand new program. But I can, I feel very proud to be able to tell you all, since I became director and as a formerly homeless transgender woman that has had to learn how to survive in the streets, the program has never done so well. Since I became director, I formed a connection with Precinct 72, which is great. Our clients feel a lot safer. If you call the precinct and you say, hey, Joanna has something to say, they run. They're very quick, and that's honestly great. We have a 3-family house which houses 18 transgender youth for up to 18 months. I'm so proud to say that many of our clients are getting full ride scholarships at this point. These are transgender youth that are really progressing. And like I tell our youth, the world keeps telling us no, but we have to prove them that we can. Thank you all.
Rounding out our honorees for our Community Social Impact Award this afternoon is the Caribbean American Pride, also known as CAP. Yay! CAP made its mark in the LGBTQ community as the first Caribbean organization to win the coveted Most Original Award during the 2013 Rain to Rainbows NYC Pride Parade. Since its formation, CAP has presented Celebrate Your Life, a day of forms focused on HIV/AIDS education on the first Saturday in December in honor of World AIDS Day. They have worked closely with various organizations to bring insurance to the uninsured and to help spread the word about HIV/AIDS and other STIs. They have also co-sponsored forums on immigration to ensure that the right information is being provided to the community. Working with other Caribbean LGBTQ groups, they advocate for LGBTQ rights within the Caribbean diaspora. As CAP continues to grow, they are focusing on having effective changes within our entire community, destigmatizing HIV/AIDS, and advocating for more favorable immigration laws for LGBTQ spouses. Please help me welcome Ethel Felix, President of CAP, to accept the award on behalf of the Caribbean American Pride. Welcome to the podium.
Good afternoon. Thank you, DA Gonzalez, a fellow Caribbean, I'm hoping. All right? We created the organization with the intention of doing work around immigration and doing work around advocating for the laws to be changed so that, LGBT folks can marry and apply for status in the United States for their partners. That lasted 2 years because I guess 2 years later, Edie, who's now my wife's best friend, went to the Supreme Court and we got the right. But we still had work to do around immigration because although we do still have the rights to marry and apply for our folks, a lot of our folks are still not aware. They're still afraid to go into the hospitals and get tested. So we start to look at different ways to help. AHF reached out to us and I said to them, they came to me, they're like, you know what? How do we get to test Caribbean people? I said, I want you to go to the corner of Church and Flatbush and just bring your bus out there and just, play some soca music and people will start coming in. They went out there and I believe they tested about 40 people that evening. But unfortunately, this was a one-time thing. So what we at CAP do, we reach out to different organizations and say, okay, you know what? Listen, we need to get our people tested. We need to get the education out there on HIV/AIDS. We need to get the education out there on PrEP and PEP. Let's see what we can do. I accept this award, DA Gonzalez. I am prideful. We are prideful and proud of the work that we're doing. We're proud of the work that you are doing to help the LGBT community. And we accept this award from you guys, from you and from the Brooklyn DA's office.
It is my honor and my privilege to introduce our honoree for the Legal Excellence Award, Kylar W. Broadus. Kylar Broadus joined the staff of the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund in January of 2017 as senior counsel. Mr. Broadus was formerly a tenured professor of business law at Lincoln University in Missouri with over 20 years' experience and served clients in his own practice in Columbia, Missouri since 1997, including transgender, lesbian, gay, and bisexual clients. He served as Senior Policy Counsel at the National LGBTQ Task Force and Director of the Transgender Civil Rights Project from 2013 to 2015. In 2012, Mr. Broadus made history as the first openly transgender person to testify before the U.S. Senate, speaking in support of the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. He founded the Trans People of Color Coalition in 2010, a national organization dedicated to the needs of trans people of color. Broadus has worked for decades on behalf of people of color and LGBT people for justice and fairness. His goal and mission is that all people be treated fairly and equally under the law. Please welcome Kylar Broadus to the podium.
I am very honored. I just got here literally from Washington, and this is my first award, and what a way to be welcomed to New York. Thank you, District Attorney Gonzalez. I'm really honored. I have done this work 30 plus years, and when I saw that on a sign, I about died a few months ago. I was like, God, did they have to put it up on a sign? As you can tell, I'm having age issues, but that's okay. You know, when I came out, being transgender was not a thing you told people or said to people, and my life was in risk every day, and it didn't matter because I had to be me, and I knew that it was important to be me, coming from two strong black parents who knew it was important to be them who had lived through slavery. Because I was a late child, whoops, there he was, child for them. And so I'd learned from them that you always were to be proud of who you were and to stand up tall and be and fight for who you are. And that gave me the strength to fight for who I am and to fight so that others didn't have to go through the things, well, and they still are, unfortunately, of the things that I have done. And just to give you a brief glimpse, and I won't take long, but I did tons of cases for free for LGBT people for years because nobody would take them. Nobody would take my case. And so it was important to stand up and do that work. I fought for local ordinances when we didn't have local ordinances, to build the structure so we would have state ordinances, so we would have national ordinances. So that just gives you a framework of the work I've done. And then I fought on the national level and worked in Washington, D.C., and have had the honor of standing with our previous president doing work, great work, to make change in this country. So yes, I've had the honor of standing with Barack Obama in signing into laws in this country that impacted us greatly in a positive way. We will continue to fight. You know, I've been in times when it was worse. And it's not great now with the climate we have, but it's still not as bad as it was, and we will continue to fight. I've always been a maverick, and I will continue to be, and I will continue to fight for what's fair, and I will continue to fight for the rights of all people. And I'm just so appreciative of this award, and I feel like this is my baptism into New York City, and I am honored, and I do what I do every day because it's a labor of love. It comes from my heart, and it's the right thing to do. So thank you, and what a welcome to New York City. And I'll just continue what I do every day, get up and continue to fight for what's right. So thank you, and thank you for all being here, and I'm honored and I am blessed. Thank you very much.